Imagine what's possible when learning doesn't get in the way of life. At Capella University, our game-changing FlexPath learning format lets you set your own deadlines so you can learn at a time and pace that works for you. It's an education you can tailor to your schedule. That means you don't have to put your life on hold to pursue your professional goals. Instead, enjoy learning your way and earn your degree without missing a beat. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
What is Cafe Mocha? Cafe Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Re.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha, bringing in the new year with Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique. We're getting our finances right with Tiffany the Budgenista. After that, we're going to need a little something to lighten the mood, so we've got Lil Rel. I know, Lonnie, you are back on the road doing your thing again. So what's up? Where can we see you?
Oh, I will be touring with Martin Lawrence.
Cool.
Yes. In January, we're going to Nashville and Mississippi and Alabama, going down to the Deep South. And we're going to have some great shows. And I'm headlining my own shows as well. And my shows are always fun. I find a way to have commentary, but also talk about myself. And you know what? For 2025, ladies, I'm going to work on my own comedy special. So definitely working on great new material.
Okay.
And it's going to be great. But if you want to hear, if you want to see the schedule and maybe check me out with Martin, go to LonnieLove.com. That's LonnieLove.com. It's all kinds of dates on there. And I'm going to be going back on the Dave Coz cruise in June.
Oh, cool.
We're going to Iceland. Yeah.
I don't know about that now.
It's not cold, Angelique.
Well, it's called Iceland.
Yeah, but it's not cold. That's what it is. It's the opposite of it. So I'm excited to be doing that and working on some other new projects.
How's your podcast coming?
Yeah, you know what? I've been working on it, and it's I'm self-financing it, and we've been getting some great guests. And it's called Grown Blank Women Talking. You fill in the blank. But it's GAWT Pod. You can listen to it on anywhere you get your podcast. We've had some really great guests. We had Wendy Raquel Robinson and Sheila E. And this is a podcast geared for women 40 and up. I think that there needed to be a space for women 40 and up, because in this country, they think that once you get 40, they throw you out to pasture. And it's just not true. Women are vivacious. They're growing. They are still wise. They're learning. And so we have Jamil Hill. We had Carrie Champion. We had Kathy Griffin. And we give each woman a topic, and they talk about that topic. So like for Wendy Raquel Robinson, her topic was dating younger. And she happened to share her story of her dating a younger man, sort of like what Yo-Yo's going through. So,
Watch yourself.
So we got to have you on, Yo-Yo. I would love to talk to you about.
I would love to come on.
Your career and your life and how phenomenal you are. But that's my 2025 plans, just to keep doing projects and things like that. What about you, Yo-Yo?
I am just finishing we're getting ready to go back in and tape the Downright Delicious with Yo-Yo on Aspire and Prime Video, and continuing the tour with the Black College Expo, National College Resource Foundation, where I teach my hip hop literacy program, how to get A's in English through hip hop with Yo-Yo. We have about maybe 15 more cities to go to. In between that, working on some new music and really just trying to really focus on the Yo-Yo School of Hip Hop here in Los Angeles. Since the pandemic, we kind of shut down So we didn't get a chance to really reboot ourselves the way we wanted to, but it gave me the opportunity to travel and spread my love all around to different states. So I'm excited about that. And of course, I am a Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated honorary member. And so I've just been spreading my love through community, through sisterhood, and showing up wherever I need to be.
I love that. Angelique, what you doing? Just gonna keep on producing us?
I had to get a real job so I could get some benefits because
Oh!
I don't know. I don't know a single person out there that ain't worried about their health insurance right now. I got mine. Hey, but seriously, that is, we laughing, but that's not a joke. That is not a joke. Health insurance. You get a certain age and you ain't playing no more. Knees start hurting. You need to go to physical therapy or have a little something done to it. I don't care. I'm a woman over 40, Lonnie. But I'm one of those people that has a list that's 87 lines long about all the stuff I'm trying to do, and none of it gets done. And so my list over the past 6 months has been two things. One was I gained like 20 pounds, so none of my clothes fit.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, and that's the barometer for me. Do my clothes fit? If they don't, it's time to make some changes. And so I've been cooking every meal in the house. I've been going to the gym. I haven't eaten out. Oh yeah, we went to that event that you hosted, but you came after I had eaten. I was eating every roll, and the man came by. He's like, "You want another roll?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want. I ain't getting no rolls in the house." So yes, while I am out, I'm gonna eat a roll. Haven't done any fast food. I've been working out at least 3 days a week. I got my stupid Fitbit.
How long you been doing this?
Since August, and I've lost 12.3 pounds.
How do you feel?
I feel proud.
That's it?
Honestly, I feel proud.
Since August?
Is that not a lot?
August, September. I can't talk because I gained 12. But okay. Yeah, that's great, Angelique.
Yes. Well, Lonnie, here's the thing though. The thing is that I'm making new habits. You know how hard it is once you get in a routine. It was this thing where every Saturday morning, Mom and I used to go to the gym, and then after the gym, we would go to IHOP. And so there was this immediate connection. It became a habit that afterwards we would go to IHOP. So
do you feel better though? How do you feel?
I feel good. I feel good, and I feel like I've created a bunch of new habits that will carry me into my older years. That'll help me, be a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit healthier.
They always say movement. Movement is the thing, and I haven't been doing that. So for 2025, I'm going to actually move more. All right. Well, here at Cafe Mocha, we wish everyone a wonderful 2025. Make your plans, do your thing, but we will always be here for you. Happy New Year from the ladies of Cafe Mocha.
Cafe Mocha 2025 is almost here. Tiffany the Budgenista is also here with some money tips for the new year. We've got more on the way with Cafe Mocha.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, I'm Angelique. Joining us to get us right is Tiffany the Budgenista. Her new book is called Made Whole, The Practical Guide to Reaching Your Financial Goals. Hi, Tiffany. Welcome back.
Hi, ladies. Thanks for having me.
You know what? In 2021, you made the book Get Good with Money. And that saved a lot of souls. So now this is like an extension, Made Whole. Why do we need this book, Tiffany, and why did you write it?
Well, when I wrote Get Good with Money, it's because I came up with a system called financial wholeness, which is these 10 steps that if you master them, you will be able to be all right no matter what happens. You lose your job, you'll be all right. Inflation is high, you'll be all right. A recession comes, you will be all right. And what I realized is that, people looked at Get Good with Money as this awesome textbook, but a lot of people weren't getting to the work, and so I wanted to create a companion book where there's this workbook. So many people know I used to be a school teacher for over 10 years, and I have my master's in education. So I thought, what if I represented these same 10 steps: budgeting, savings, debt, credit, income, investing, insurance, your financial team, your net worth, and estate planning, these same 10 financial wholeness steps. But with each step, I show you what the step looks like when completed, and then I give you a chance in the book to do the work. So it's like, don't keep reading. Do the work now. Because when you do the work now, when you write things down, when you put it into action, then you're more likely to stick with it and see change. And so that's why this book is different.
So this is a workbook. I'm holding it up for Angelique to see. It's an actual workbook, and in it you can actually do the steps. And it's a nice thick, where it's not small. You can actually write in it. So it's sort of like a notebook. Plus, this is genius. I really do like this. Like here, you can do it. So I love that part. Tiffany, what made you come up with this concept?
Because so many people came to me, and there's so many people who teach online. They teach about kind of like getting rich quick, or, how to make $1 into $1 million. And I thought, well, there might be 0.01% people that might happen for, and great for them. But what happens to everybody else? What happens to those who are teachers and nurses and stay-at-home moms? And so if you don't make your million bajillion dollars, so what does that mean for your life? Does that mean that you don't get to enjoy safety and security and vacation? What does that mean? And so there were too many people that I helped, so many women in particular. My audience is largely Black women. I've helped nearly 2 million women in the last 15 years. And most of them are just regular, everyday women who are brilliant and smart and who needed guidance to how to live their normal financial life. And so I was like, I'm going to create something that can help them. And the textbook version of Made Whole, Get Good with Money, sold nearly 300,000 copies in its first 2 years. So what it told me was there's a need for this. And so I'm like, oh no, we're gonna dig deeper with Made Whole.
I love that.
Cafe Mocha, we're talking to Tiffany the Budgenista. I feel like whenever I hear financial information, I feel like you have to be making money, decent money, to participate in this. How wrong am I?
You don't. Well, for many of the books that are out there, that is the case. But I literally have a part of the book that says, what happens if you're broke? Because I have been broke. Right? Because people say broke. Broke is when you're like, ooh, I don't got no money. But, if you dig in your purse, you might find $1. If you look in your 401k, there's some money there. But broke is when there are no pennies in the cushion seats.
Right.
There's no 401k. There is nothing. I have been there where it's like
talk about that. I want to talk about how you were broke, and then you got yourself back together.
Yeah, and it wasn't fast. So the recession happened. I lost my job. Right before I lost my job, I had gotten my master's, which is $52,000. Right before that, I thought I was super grown, and I bought myself a condo in my mid-20s, and I had a mortgage of $220,000. Right? And then I said, I want to learn to invest. And so, of course, I chose a scam artist who I thought was a friend of mine to teach me. And it ended up me being $35,000 in credit card debt that I was liable for. So I went from no debt to a mortgage, student loans, and credit card debt. And then I lost my job. So I said, so I drained my savings to try to save my condo. Then I drained my 401k. Because I was still in my 20s, and so I had a few, maybe like $20,000, $30,000 in there to try to save my condo. I still ended up losing it to foreclosure, and so I was broke. There was no money hidden in the cushions of my car. There was nothing. There was no backup savings, and I just remember thinking, what do you do when you're at your like at the bottom? And so you have to I had to tell people. Because you are not meant to go through this thing by yourself. And for me, it was my best friend, Linda, who I was like, I needed to release the shame I was feeling for being broke. And two, I had to ask for help. Sometimes asking for help is getting on WIC, getting on assistance. Sometimes asking for help is seeing if your sister will let you move in and sleep on the couch. Sometimes asking for help is, are your parents still living? Are they close enough for you to go back to your middle school bed? That's what I did. Sometimes asking for help is to see if your best friend, will let you crash for a moment. Like there are moments, I know financial people will want me to give like, well, then, you add the 1 plus the 2 and then your budget. No, sometimes it looks like I need to get to a safe place where I'm not outside. And so that's was the first step. It's like, where can I safely lay my head for a period of time, and then I look for any assistance I could find. I was on unemployment. Thank God during the recession they extended it. Usually unemployment is like 6 months to a year. Because it was a recession, a global recession, the federal government stepped in and extended unemployment. So I was like, unemployment was my saving grace. And I babysat everybody's baby. I said, you want to go out this weekend. Let me watch the baby. I tutored everybody's child. I remember I told somebody I could tutor Spanish. With my high school students, I'm like, hola, me llamo. I was doing everything I could, because that's what it looks like when you're broke. And then when I got just a little bit on my feet, I had to rent a room. I was in my 30s. This is not 27-year-old Tiffany. No, I was renting a room like I just came home. So it was an uncomfortable experience. But when you're broke, it might look like that temporarily. The main thing to remember when you're broke is that if you keep at it, you won't stay there. But it was years. It was from age 29 to 33 that I was in that space. So it wasn't like, it was 6 months. No. And the only thing that kept me going is I just had to keep remembering, you won't always be here. You won't always be here. It was times when I cried because I was like, I had more money at 16 than I do at 30. Because at 16, I had a little job. I was working at the library, so I had like $1,000 saved. I wish I could borrow that $1,000 from that 16-year-old Tiffany.
It's Cafe Mocha. On the line, Tiffany the Budgenista. Her new book, Made Whole, The Practical Guide to Reaching Your Financial Goals. Now, Tiffany, we want to give our condolences on the passing of your beautiful husband, Jarrell Smith. The question I have is that, when I saw it and we talked and the condolences and the sincerity, there are many, especially Black women, that are going through grief. How were you able to handle it and still move on?
Well, one, you never move on. I don't know that you can lose your partner or lose a child or lose a parent or sibling. I was thankful that I had already had an amazing Black therapist beforehand, that she was awesome, Dr. Green. I was working with her already. So, and then I stopped for like a few months. And so when Jarrell passed away, I reached out to her and I said, I don't think I'm going to make it. I need help. That is, if you don't take anything away from this interview, is you have to develop the ability to ask for help. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I need help. Was so helpful. And I still meet with her. In the beginning, for the first year and some change, we met weekly, and now we meet every other week. And she told me the other day, because his passing, he passed on November 15th, 2021. And so that was just a month ago. And I had a really hard time during that time. And I told her, I'm having such a hard time. And she said, Tiffany, you don't get over this, right? Is that what you thought? You don't actually get over it. You learn to grow around grief. So if you are struggling with grief and you're waiting for it to pass or you to move on, move forward, you're not. You will learn to live with it, but it's never going to go away. Not when you love somebody so much, and that is okay. And I'm grateful to you, Lonnie, for saying his name out loud, because I think sometimes people are afraid to say people's name, but it's no, Jarrell was this amazing husband, an amazing father, just so kind, so supportive. And I felt lost without him. He provided such a level of security and support for me that it's what Dr. Green said is called the invisible force of what secure support looks like. It's like a good parent, when they raise a child, if that is a good parent, you will empower your child so much, the child feels like they're doing it on their own. That's what good support looks like. that you feel like you out here by yourself and you're like, hey, look at me. And so that's what I thought. I thought like, I was like, oh, I got a good husband, but like low key, I'm lit. So I'm going to be lit either way because I got this. I'm strong. I'm independent, but I'm also married. No, I didn't realize how much support that he gave me, that it was so good that I really thought I was out here by myself. Like, and it wasn't until it was gone that I realized how much I came to depend on him and lean on him. And I knew with him, I could never hit the ground because he was covering it for me. And so I had to relearn, how do I navigate out here without that safety net of support that he provided? And so it's been really hard for me to navigate. The one thing I will say is that it really gave me a spotlight on how important the work I do in this financial education space, because I am fortunate I get to just miss Jarrell, the person. Because we did what we were supposed to do financially, I didn't lose my husband and my house. Like so many people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it really put a barrier in my back. Like, Tiffany, this is why you do the work, you know, because I got to focus on grief. I took almost a year away from work. People can't do that. How will you eat? Where will you sleep? I was able to do that because of the choices we made when he was here.
Cafe Mocha, it's Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, I'm Angelique. On the line, Tiffany the Budgetnista, who has a new book out, a workbook for us to get our money straight. Hey, Tiffany.
So, Tiffany, what are the top things that we need to be working on for our budget?
So, top things is start with what I like to call dreamscaping. So this is goal setting before setting goals. I want you to just imagine how you'd like your life to go in general. Like, I'd like to have more vacation time, more time with the kids. You know, I'd like to travel more, whatever that is. Like, you get to dream big in the goal setting or the dreamscaping phase. So start with that. And then you ask yourself, what are some steps I can take this year to work toward that bigger dream that I have for myself? You know, so because you're not going to accomplish it in 1 year, but if you say, I'd like to travel more, you know, and you can imagine going Bali and going to Egypt and India and all these places. Okay, so that's going to probably require some savings, but also some planning. So you might say to yourself, well, this is the year that I'm going to set aside enough money, you know, for at least one trip. Or, you know, this is the year I'm going to, I'm really responsible with my credit card and I pay it off every month in full, but it doesn't have rewards. So this is the year I'm going to switch to rewards credit card. Or, you know, this is the year I'm going to join a Black girl travel group so I can learn all the tips and tricks. Because nothing happens accidentally. If you're wanting a thing, this big dream, then you have to start to piece it together with these are the steps to get that thing done. I'm always asking myself, Tiffany, what's the big goal? And I will daydream like, oh, I would really love to only work, you know, 3 months out of the year. So what do I need to do now? You know, I really love, you know, to be able to like, I don't know, spend more time with my nieces and nephews. So what do I need to do now? And so that's how you start off the year. And then you start to ask yourself, once you figure out the goals you want to hit for the year based upon your big dream, how do your finances play a role in that? Does it require savings? Does it require you making more money? You know, does it require you spending less money? The key is that you match your money to your life, not your life to your money. Because if I ask people, what is your goal? I want to make $1 million. Your life might only cost you $60,000 a year. And so you're going to overshoot your shot, exhaust yourself to try to make $1 million when what you really wanted would have cost you 60. And had you identified the life you wanted and matched the money to it, you wouldn't have to work as hard.
I am so happy for you. And thank you for taking some time to talk to us on Cafe Mocha.
No, thank you. Can I share where people can get the book if they like a copy?
Definitely.
So I'm the Budgetnista on all the social platforms. But if you like a copy of my new book, it is available where all books are sold, or you can go to madewholeworkbook.com.
madewholeworkbook.com. It's a lovely book. Get it, y'all. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
Go to thebudgetnista.com. Lil Rel is on the way.
Happy holidays from the ladies of Cafe Mocha, Angelique, Yo-Yo, and your girl, Lonnie Love.
We're at Cafe Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Cafe Mocha on the way.
That's the kind of girl I need.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha. Lonnie Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique on the line. He's a comedian, an actor, a writer, and producer. You know, he had his breakout role as the TSA agent Rod Williams in the Oscar-winning instant classic Get Out. But you know what? He's still doing his comedy, and he's still doing those great movies. And he has a movie out called We Grown Now. It's my man, Lil Rel Howery. Hey, Lil Rel.
What up? What it do?
Hey, you know, it's always a good day when I'm talking to you, bruh. Thank you for talking to us. And I'm just interested in this movie. I saw the trailer. We Grown Now. Let's talk about this story.
Yeah, I mean, it's set in the 90s in Cabrini Green. And, you know, I'm from Chicago. Cabrini Green used to be a project that no longer exists anymore in Chicago. And it actually deals with a time where, and I can actually remember this as a kid, it was a gang shooting and a child was murdered. And it put everybody in alert. And this story actually talks about it from the perspective of two young men who are kids who's dealing with this, right? That, you know, their parents are kind of panicking. And you know what's interesting about this movie, and it made me go back to this. It was like, yo, I remember when it was the first time we started seeing children killed from gang violence. And it's weird because now it's almost not necessarily a regular thing, but I'm not saying we're used to it, but it's been kind of normalized. But at that time, it was a big deal because I remember even my parents felt very hesitant at the time about us going outside because of this. You know, so, you know, it's just really interesting. But it's a beautifully shot movie. It's a beautiful story. And I try to do my best to not say too much because I want you to experience it. But it's beautifully shot. It's beautifully acted. And the two young men in this movie are simply amazing.
Yeah, people can check out the trailer on YouTube, We Grown Now. And as you said, Lil Rel, you are from Chicago. So when you were shooting this, what kind of connection did you feel as you were shooting it?
Yeah, it felt like even the way they remade Cabrini Green on the studio lot, it was kind of surreal. I think I had a second where I had to kind of like sit there and it looked so real. Mm-hmm. And you just remember that time. You know, once again, like the 90s was a very, very interesting time in Chicago and at its height of gang violence, you know, and kind of reliving that and honestly reliving it as an adult and as a dad in the movie was very surreal because I was a kid when it happened. And so to kind of be in this other side of it and looking at it from the parents' perspective, it was like, wow. It was more, not necessarily full circle, but I could understand what my parents felt at the time.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line, comedian and actor Lil Rel. You know, you do so many movies and you've been so successful. When you're taking these projects, what is it? Do you have like, you know, a list of, okay, things I'll do or things I won't do when you're thinking about taking a role?
You know something, I don't overthink it because like a lot of times there's a lot of scripts that come my way. And I try to find stuff that I like that speaks to me. And even more recently, I've been doing a lot of stuff with more intention to it. And honestly, I've been leaning into a lot more dad stuff also. You know, I enjoy being a dad. And so it's been very important to me to start being a dad in more of the films and TV shows I'm in. You know what I mean? I kind of want to get my Steve Martin on.
I'd like to know, how did you get your start, your overall stand-up career?
You know, like most stand-ups, you know, for me, it was a dream to do stand-up. So I started like right after high school, maybe a couple months after I graduated high school. I went to a comedy club that I wasn't old enough to get into at a bar because I was still only like, you know, 18, 19 or whatever. And so, yeah, I found the list and went up and been hooked since then. I was hooked before that, you know, from Richard Pryor to Eddie Murphy, Def Jam, and Comic View. And then by the time I hit the stage, like, I don't even remember how I did the first night I went up. I think I could have bombed, to be quite honest with you. But I don't know, because I was just happy to be on stage telling my jokes.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line. We're talking to Lil Rel. You know, you were on Club Shay Shay. Everybody's going on Club Shay Shay. How was your experience, Lil Rel, on there?
Yeah, it was, honestly, I I had fun. I was very honest, and it's so weird because I think they booked all of us around the same time. So like nobody knew that at the Cats interview it would turn into this thing, because before that, you know, you had Ricky Smiley do it and Steve Harvey and Sid and DC Young Fly, and it was just really a dope platform that I thought Shannon Sharp was cool to give a black comedian. You know what I mean? Because he's a mainstream artist. And so he has something where, like, the mainstream can get to see a real conversation with black comics he loves, honestly. Because there's only been black comics on there. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was cool. And then I did a sports series a couple of years ago, and he was a guest of mine, which I told my own one. And so when he asked me to do it back in like November, I was doing it to promote, I was supposed to be promoting Dashing Through the Snow, the Santa Claus movie. But we had to push it because of scheduling. So I ended up doing it in January, the week after Cats interview came out.
I know we're talking about all these important movies that you've been in, but I love Dashing Through the Snow. The family watched it. We absolutely loved it.
No, thank you for that.
It was good. It's like going back to the Club Shay Shay. When you sit on that couch, it's like that becomes a truth couch. Is it the
Right.
liquor? Is it because the couch comfortable? Like what do you think it is?
I know everybody gonna have their jokes, so I don't drink anymore. So I didn't have any of the liquor there. So it was just, I was drinking water, and I was very honest. Now I can't speak for everybody else. You know, I think, and also I don't think it's truth serum from everybody. I think I know I told the truth, and I was very honest, but I don't believe everybody that sat on that couch did that.
Who lied?
Who lied? Who lied?
Oh Lord.
I mean, you all know, like, not to be like that, but Cat lied about a lot of stuff. But, you know, he's so funny and so charming. You just kind of like, I mean, like if Kanye had Cat Williams' delivery, he'll be president.
I feel it. You know, and it's just the state of comedy right now is just so sensitive. What do you think the issue is with comedy right now, especially black comedy?
I don't think the state of comedy is sensitive, you know, especially depending on what type of comic you is, right? For me, I've always been, the way I do stand-up has never necessarily offended anybody or anything like that. And so I've always told stuff from a perspective that, because I love people, right? I can still roast somebody, but they would never be angry at me about it. And I think it's how you deliver things. And being from Chicago, where I think most of the great comics come from, you know, even Bernie Mac could say something really hard, but you didn't take offense to it. And so I think it's the way you deliver things. And then, you know, like you said, black comedy, the reason why black comedy is in this weird place, to be, if I could be really honest, this is the most successful we've ever seen black comedians, right? Like for real. It's like a nice amount of millionaires now. And that didn't even exist 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And so now that you have all these successful people, and now they're getting older, we actually watching a lot of people who were cool in the 90s become old people. And so because of becoming old people, they're kind of talking crazy. And so like, we experience a lot of dudes going through their midlife crisis.
We're talking to Lil Rel Howery, Harold and the Purple Crayon, currently streaming on Netflix. And I know Christmas is over, but Dashing Through the Snow is so cute. It's currently streaming on Disney+. More with Lil Rel on Cafe Mocha.
This is Cafe Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
This is Cafe Mocha. On the line, we're talking to Lil Rel. Lil Rel, you got engaged to your girlfriend. That's my girl, Donella Lane, at the Beyonce show. But it was something happened. Can we talk about this?
I told you the story probably about 3 times. But it's so funny because I had it all kind of not planned out. I planned it all in one day. But I had to go to the bathroom before the proposal because this dude spilled. Everybody be so hyped at these concerts. The dude kept spilling his drink on me. He kept doing it the whole concert. And I get it because Beyonce be lit. So everybody, energy, you know, they doing all this stuff. And so, like, people be just hyped, you know. So I'm like, let me go wipe my jacket off. And I've been waiting the whole time for a song to be played that Miss Tina told me that when Beyonce does a song, it's a good time to propose. I'll let Beyonce know, you know, whatever. And I was like, all right, as soon as I went to the bathroom, that's when she started singing it, and I just started screaming. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I tried to finish as quick as I could because I'm 40-something, you know. And I got out, and And I ran back, and then I couldn't find my seat. Because for some reason, I forgot where the seat was. I was panicking, and I ain't never been no panicking person like that. So I can't find the seat. I'm like, what was she there? I thought she moved the crowd, because, she kept having people do stuff all kinds. I'm like, did she have the crowd to move? And so I had to go back, retrace my steps, find a seat, and Beyonce's letting the song go longer than it was supposed to, and she literally, only I know the face she made was at me. I'm like, I know she's so irritated with me. And so, I ended up finding the seat. I could see the cameraman sweating, just waiting. And I did it. As soon as I went down, your shoes on down. I'm like, no, I'm trying to propose to you. And and that's when it happened. And it's so funny. I paid all that money for those tickets. She was like, all right, we can leave. I was like, what? Like, no, we ain't going nowhere. We're about to finish this whole show.
I love it. And you guys have a date yet, or anything?
You know something? I keep telling people this. We might just pop up married soon. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait, when it happen? And just throw. This is what I would like to do. And at the end of the day, it's whatever she wants to do. We've both been married before, but the first time she got married, she didn't have a real wedding. So she kind of wants that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, for me, it's like, look, let's just get married and throw 3 parties.
Three? Why 3?
One in Chicago, one in Mississippi, one in Chicago, one in LA. And it is what it is.
I love that.
He'll still save some money. He'll save a lot of money doing it that way. And you'll remember it.
She can wear 3 white dresses.
We should celebrate wedding anniversaries like weddings to me. I think we got it all wrong with celebrating, making a wedding a big deal. And it's like, we're not sure if it's going to last. I think it's a bigger celebration when you like, okay, it's been a couple years. Let's get you a white dress. Let's everybody. Let's do it big, because if we survived.
Definitely.
Lil Rel Howery. If the little ones haven't seen it yet, Harold and the Purple Crayon is on Netflix. His cute Christmas movie, Dashing Through the Snow, is on Disney+.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Cafe Mocha.
It's Cafe Mocha on the line, Lil Rel. And you have another movie, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Let's talk about that real quick.
So I screened it for my family, and they absolutely loved it. It's such a great family film. So kids are going to love it. I think parents are going to love it. And I'm not even just saying that. I try to be as honest as I can about the stuff I do. And I'm telling you, it's really good. And I'm very proud of it. I love any movie I can show to my whole family. And that's what this movie is, and I think people are going to enjoy it. I can't wait to see how people react to it this summer.
And as we close, Lil Rel, you're doing so many great things, and you've been in so many great projects. When you were starting out in comedy, did you ever think your career would blossom the way it's blossoming?
I always believed the vision that God showed me about myself, but it wasn't specific, right? It was just like, I could only feel and see that I'm gonna do what I love to do. Now, did I envision all the other things that came with it? No, and that's what makes it beautiful. I love that I can't guess how I'm gonna be blessed. You know what I'm saying? Because it gives me a chance to really experience it. And so, when I see myself on a poster or a trailer, or even I remember when my son did Uncle Drew, and we was at the CinemaCon in Vegas, and they didn't tell me he was in the trailer. And so he popped up in the trailer, and I just started bawling. Because it made me think about, oh my God, he was born way too early, and they told us this and that. Look at this kid on the big screen. Wow. And so, that's another thing too. I didn't see that coming, right? I'm having so much fun with what I love what I do. From the movies, even to stand up, being able to shoot my special at the Chicago Theater, that was surreal. So I just keep wanting to create moments like that for myself. I'm about to direct my first film, and that's going to be a whole nother layer of my career that I'm excited about. So I didn't predict any of the stuff I'm doing now, but it makes me excited that I get a chance to do what Steven Spielberg and George Lucas did. I directed and things like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's surreal. I still pinch myself, but I love what I do.
Well, the movie We Grown Now comes out, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Thank you so much for your time, Lil Rel, stepping in the Cafe Mocha. I love you, bruh.
Love you too. Love y'all. Thank y'all.
Yes, thank you so much.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast to listen to the full interview with Lil Rel Howery. That's the show. Until next time, you can find us on all platforms at Cafe Mocha Radio. Cafe Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.